This is a demonstration on how to tie ציצית. Of course, this is for strictly demonstrative purposes. If we were to actually tie ציצית, it would be in a garment like this. This is a talit katan, and we would tie ציצית on each of the four corners of the garment. There's a little hole right here, which we tie the ציצית through, and they look like this. But we're just trying to get an idea of how to actually tie the ציצית. So we have 4 strings, 3 shorter strings that are white, and a 4th string, which is a lot longer than the others, and ideally it should be blue, but it can be white as well. So we have them like this, and we're going to hold them together, pinch them together at the top, just like that. Now what we're going to do is fold the strings over so that either side of each of the 3 shorter strings comes to about the same length, like this. Of course, we still have the 4th string, which is longer, but when I hold it like this, they're about the same length on either side. And right in the middle, where I was holding them, we're going to tie a simple knot. And the idea is that when I hold it by the knot, we want, it's not going to be perfect, but we want either side of each of the shorter strings to be at about the same length. So this is pretty good, like that. Now we're going to refer to these not as 4 strings, but as 8. And we have 2 sides. We have this side, which we're going to refer to as the shamash side, because this long string is called the shamash. And we have the other side, where all the strings come to about the same length, and we're going to refer to this as the knot side. And that's because we're going to tie a knot just near the very end of it, just like that. And we'll take that out at the end, but you'll see in a moment why that's important. So now we have these 8 strings, and we're going to hold the 7 shorter strings together like this, and take the shamash, and as close to the original knot as possible, we're going to tie the shamash around 7 times, wrap it around 7 times like this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This part's a little tricky. 5, 6, 7. So the shamash has been wrapped around 7 times like this. Of course, you want it to be as neat as possible. And now we're going to separate the strings back into their original 2 groups. So you have the shamash side here and the knot side. And this is why it's important to have the knot, because otherwise we couldn't distinguish the knot side from the shorter strings of the shamash side. Now, it doesn't matter what order you do this in, whether you start with the shamash side or the knot side, but I'll start with the knot side. I'm going to tie the knot side around the shamash side and make a simple knot just like that. And now I'm going to alternate. So I'm going to switch hands and tie the shamash side around the knot side, like that. So we have 2 simple knots, just like that. Now I'm going to bunch the 7 shorter strings together again and do what I just did a moment ago. I'm going to wrap the shamash around the 7 shorter strings, but this time I'm going to do it 8 times. I'm going to wrap it around 8 times rather than 7. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. 8 coils, just like that. And now, again, separate the 2 sides. So we have the knot side and the shamash side. I'm going to wrap the knot side around the shamash side, make a knot, just like that. And now I'm going to alternate again. So make a knot by tying the shamash side around the knot side. And this is the pattern we're going to follow. But now we're going to wrap the shamash around the other 7 11 times. So it's 7, 8, 11, and then 13. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, messed up a bit there. 1, 2, 3. It's a little tricky. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like that. And again, separate them into the two sides. So we want the shamash side and the knot side. There we go. Yeah, so again, knot side, shamash side, tie the knot around the shamash side and the shamash side around the knot side. And you'll see as we progress, the shamash is becoming less longer than the other sides. So by the end, all 8 strings will be approximately the same length, but the shamash might still be a bit longer. And finally, we're going to tie the shamash around 13 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There we go. And separate them. I like to tie the knot side around the shamash side, and the shamash side around the knot side. Where's my shamash? I actually cut a bit too short of a piece of string for the shamash, because now the shamash is actually quite a bit shorter than the other 3 strings in its group, but that's okay. And finally, I'm going to take the knot side, undo the knot just like that, and now I have my ציצית. So I can let the strings hang down like that. They don't have to be too long. Doesn't matter if they are a bit long though. It's better than being too short. You'll see in my ציצית as well, they're fairly long, except this one, part of it got ripped off. So we want them to be able to dangle quite a bit. And you have the knots. The first knot we did, 7 coils, 2 knots, 8 coils, 2 knots, 11 coils, 2 knots, 13 coils, and our last 2 knots. And there you have ציצית.